So as we all know, the Houston Texans have been one of the worst run franchises that maybe I've personally ever seen. And it stretches back to, for a couple of years now. They didn't want to pay Dwayne Brown, so they shipped him off to Seattle, and they ended up having to give a boatload of picks and a massive contract to Laramie Tunsil. They didn't want to retain Clowney, and they ended up trading him, and they traded D-Hop for a second-round pick and David Johnson. And, Bill O'Brien, just obviously horrible GM. He really dismantled the team. And they did not put Watson in the best situation to win. Obviously, the defense was really porous. They ended up cutting J.J. Watt, which is surprising, just how long he's been a leader there. And, when you have someone that classy for your organization that loves the team like he does, and he asked for a release, that's pretty telling. And, Watson, we all know he came out and requested a trade, and he does not want to be there. And they've been really bad for the last couple years now. But I actually think that a lot of people, they don't see this because of all the noise that's going around with Deshaun Watson. But I really like, some of the moves they made recently, and people aren't going to look at them and be impressed. But I actually feel like they've had a sneaky good offseason, and they put a whole bunch of good players on the team through free agency and a couple trades. And the only thing still up in the air now is still Deshaun Watson. But there's been a lot of reports about some sexual assault allegations. There's now like 7 of them. So I really don't think there's any chance Watson gets traded. He was someone that I didn't think was going to get traded anyways, just because he's a franchise quarterback. And as we all know, the Texans are a very stubborn team. But I don't think with all this going up in the air that any team is going to bite on taking Deshaun Watson, because we don't even know if he's going to play this season. If he's convicted with some of this stuff, it could. I don't even know the punishments. He can be on the commissioner exempt list. But I do want to say that through free agency and some of the trades they've made in the last few weeks, that I'm actually kind of impressed with some of the things they did. And if Watson doesn't end up getting traded, I think they're trying to appease him a little bit. Hopefully the situation diminishes. Hopefully they can figure something out that's in the best interest. They don't have a lot of draft capital, so they can't get a stud quarterback to come in and replace him. But some of the moves they've made has been to support Deshaun Watson. And a lot of people aren't seeing this. They're not talking about this. They're talking about Deshaun Watson. He wants out. Texans are horrible. Yes, they have been. But I really think that they've done an effort to try to turn this team around. And I'm going to go into that. And I'm going to go into why I think they're better, and just why some of the moves they made have really made sense. So, yeah, let's get into it. So going over what the Texans did on offense first, I really like what they did, especially at running back. They restructured David Johnson's contract. He had a high cap hit. They got him on a restructure. He wasn't great last year, but with offensive line, and there wasn't a lot of good blocking, but he showed some flashes. I watched a few David Johnson games, and I really thought, I could see the flash. I could see what got him that contract, and I could see what got him, MVP consideration. So I feel like this year he's gonna have a chance not to be the lead back, but he's gonna be able to thrive with the role that he's given. They also signed Mark Ingram, former running back from the Ravens and the Saints. He's really good when he's healthy. He missed most of last year, but the year before he was a beast. He balled out. They also signed Philip Lindsay, an undrafted guy out of Colorado. He played for the Broncos, and he played really good. He's one of the most underrated running backs. He kind of had a down year last year with Melvin Gordon in the fold. Missed some time with injury, but he's a really solid player. And they only got him, for a few $1 million, so that's good. They signed a couple of receivers, Dante Moncrief and Darryl Roberts, or Andre Roberts, sorry. So they got a couple guys for depth. They did lose Will Fuller. He was always injured, so you can't really rely on him. He also had a PED suspension. But he's a solid player, so that's going to hurt. I would like to see them add potentially another low-key free agency signing or add someone through the draft. But they really helped out the offensive line too. They traded for Marcus Cannon, former Patriots right tackle, and he opted out last season, but he's really good when he's on the field. You also have center Justin Britt, formerly of the Seattle Seahawks. When he was healthy, he was like a top 10 center. I would say that he's a really good player. He is coming off injury, so we're going to have to see about that. But as far as offense, I really like the moves they made. They also signed Tyrod Taylor to a contract worth up to $12 million. So I think they're finally starting to prepare for the possibility of losing Watson. They also traded for Ryan Finley. This one was really surprising to me. I don't know if he makes it to the final 53, but they saw something in him that they liked. Maybe they had a high draft grade on him. Maybe they saw some potential. But anyways, and then going on to the defense. So they signed 6 linebackers: Joe Thomas, Tay Davis, Christian Kirksey, Camus Kruger-Hill, Kevin Pierre-Louis, and Jordan Jenkins. Jordan Jenkins from the Jet, he's more of an edge. Christian Kirksey, he's from the Packers. He's solid. Camus Kruger-Hill, he's a role player from the Philadelphia Eagles, nothing special. Kevin Pierre-Louis, long time, 49ers, Seattle Seahawk. And then Joe Thomas, Tay Davis, depth guys, but I feel like they really solidified the linebacker core. They got a lot of decent players. No superstars, but I feel like it's definitely an upgrade. They got Malik Collins. I believe he played for either the Cowboys or the Raiders last year. No, I think it was the Raiders. Signed to 1 year. He showed flash with the Cowboys, as an interior rusher. They also traded for Shaq Lawson. He had about 6.5 sacks for the Bills. Showed a lot of flash. Signed to 1 year with the Dolphins. Not an amazing player, but he's going to help fill the void of their pass rushing core that kind of got depleted. So he's young. He has some potential. So we're gonna have to see there. And then they also signed 3 corners: Terrence Mitchell, Trevon Smith, and then really a slot corner. He got traded from the Chargers to the Titans and didn't really play as good as I thought he would. But Desmond King's a really solid slot guy. They got him for a cheap deal. So they really upgraded their linebacker core. They improved on the defensive line. They got some younger players. They did lose J.J. Watt. And this secondary is going to be much improved. This was one of the worst both run and pass defenses last year. So I think they will take a step forward. There's still some guys on the market that they could sign to maybe bolster the pass rush. But overall, I like what they did, both sides of the ball. I think if Watson can come back, pending these allegations, if he's committed to the team, they make a couple more moves. They don't have a lot of picks in the draft, but if they can try to land a couple studs in the late rounds, some role players, I feel like this will be a team that will be better than 4-12 that they were the year prior. And I really think they need one more good receiver and one more defensive lineman that's going to be able to get to the quarterback. But I feel like everything happening with Deshaun Watson, a lot of people are not seeing these moves. They're not seeing what the GM's doing. And personally, I think Nick Caserio, he's already showed me that he's making moves. He's trying to whatever he can do to improve this team. It's not really on him. It's not on David Coley, the new coach. This situation going on, they're just trying to build a new team. They're trying to change the culture, and I really like what they're doing. We're gonna see with David Coley. He was a position coach for, I believe, the Baltimore Ravens. So he's unproven. He's a guy that's never coached. As an NFL head coach. So we're going to have to see about that. There's some questions, but I like some of the roster moves they made. And it's just going to boil down to, will Deshaun Watson be on the Texans and will he play? There's reports that he did not, but I don't see him getting traded with these allegations. So hopefully, if he's not on the exempt list, they can find a way to get him strapped up playing week 1. And if they do, I don't think they will be 4-12 because they lost a lot of close games and this defense was bad. The run game was bad, but he has a little more support. So I think these signings are under the radar. Like, a lot of people aren't seeing them, but I feel like the Texans, they have a chance to shock a lot of people, and they're going to be better next season.